That has to be the most disturbing movie thus far. Wow. Hey guys, welcome back. Check it out, old school. Do you guys remember when I used to do videos on the stairs and people got really angry because they were like, it wasn't professional? Well, I'm back. Guys, I watched The Golden Glove today. That has to be the most disturbing movie thus far. Wow. The funny thing about this film is it's quite new. It was from 2019. It was actually based on a book, I think from 2016. And it's very strange because usually I feel like people can pick when a movie is turned into a book, just the structure of it. But this one is just all over the place. And it really makes me think at points, what is the point? The Golden Glove is about a guy called Fritz, who is an alcoholic, a serial killer, and he lives in complete filth. It starts off with him having this kind of storyline with this woman that he picks up at a bar and kind of forces into his house. It's a weird situation, which is this whole film is a weird situation. But then it kind of trails off and other things happen in his life, and it's just kind of like his whole life. So I guess that makes sense why it would come from a book, but there's no real arc in the story. It's just kind of all over the place with recurring themes. And the killing and his background, you don't really know much about. It's just something that's happening in the background all the time. And it's not really the forefront. It's not like you're following him around killing people. It's like you're with him through a period of his life and just watching. The hard thing about the film is he's a complete arsehole. He's awful and he has no redeeming qualities. The first thing you see is him killing someone, so it's really hard to, you know, sympathize with him obviously, but really hard to care about anything that happens to him. So when things start going bad or taking a shift in his life, I still don't care. I still think he was a bad person, and it doesn't really make a difference to me. So it was a weird watch because the whole film I'm like, this guy's awful. What is the point to this? The film is set in the 70s and the Golden Glove is actually a bar. And I really liked the atmosphere it created in the film. It was really gritty, filthy, lots of texture. There's also lots of sweat in the film, pretty gross. And a lot of smoke and smog, which I think is very much like 70s, like smoking vibes everywhere, especially in Europe. I guess that's probably up to like the 90s. The film also has a lot, as I said before, violent content, but a lot of sexual content, and it's very disturbing. And if I knew what I was putting in the 31 Days intro, like what part it's in the film, I probably wouldn't have put it in there because I cannot unsee that now. As I said before, this is watching the main character through a huge part of his life, and there is intertwining themes, but also people and other stories. And they don't really go anywhere. I don't know. It's just very strange. I feel like maybe there was a whole heap left out that was in the book that made it make sense. Not that it doesn't make sense. It's just very matter of fact slice of life, which is fine for some people, but with a story that has so many disturbing factors, I would have liked to know more about his backstory. I'm gonna chuck up on the screen now the actor who plays the main character, and I'm gonna do a side-by-side because I was looking this up afterwards and I was completely shocked that this is the same guy. Oh my god, I had to look at it about 5 times to make sure I had my facts straight, but I guess they use like a prosthetic nose and stuff like that. I really thought looking at this guy, he could even be like Tom Hardy. I know obviously Tom Hardy's a very good looking bloke, but just the way he acted and I don't know, just the mannerisms he had. Tom Hardy obviously can transform himself, and I really felt like this was a Tom Hardy worthy character. Obviously, if I didn't mention, I don't think I did, the film is in German. So it was pretty obvious straight up that it wasn't Tom Hardy. But it was very interesting to see someone who can shapeshift, and you gotta love that quality in acting. I do think that he did a superb job carrying out this role, and yeah, props to him. I think this will get him very far. Overall, you can probably tell I'm not super excited about this film. I did think it was shot really, really nicely. It looked great and the acting was amazing, but the storyline just lacked because there wasn't really much, I mean, there was a lot to it and it was very disturbing, but was that the point of the film? I felt like there should have been some kind of coincidental, I don't know, some karma, something. I needed something, and I needed something to make me care about the dude, some backstory or something like that. But it's not like it was a bad film, it just lacked a lot of soul or direction. I'm gonna give this film a 6 out of 10. I'm really like on the edge about that. Maybe I'll give it a 5 out of 10. It wasn't great and it wasn't bad. So a 5 kind of makes sense actually. So I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10, but I still recommend if you like disturbing films, checking it out and making up your own mind. This was just a very strange one, but I'm glad I saw it. And thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for all your comments, they've been so good. Let me know if you've seen this film or if you're gonna watch this film, or if you're not, let me know why. And I'll talk to you guys tomorrow for another 31 Days of Horror. Thank you so much for being here. Bye guys.